All right. Young Santa and homeless Tom Brady here again with some social media strategy tips. So in this video, we're going to talk about social media strategy. Social media from a personal standpoint is pretty easy and low pressure. Now, teenage girls may disagree with that, but from a business standpoint and growing an audience, it can be a little daunting and it's hard. Also, social media content managers, that's a full-time job for a brand. There's so many different platforms out there. So what we suggest is developing a strategy and finding platforms that suit your audience and then suit your time level,
right?
And really focusing on those.
Yeah, don't try to be everything to everybody on every platform.
Right. It's just going to be impossible for you to manage that.
Right. So the first thing that we want to talk about is consistency. If you are posting once a day on Instagram, you're going to grow far faster than if you post once a week on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And this is the same for every platform. And that frequency is going to change slightly. You know, TikTok, you might be posting 3 times a day. Snapchat, you might be posting 10 times a day. Mm-hmm. So you need to learn the platform that you're going to be approaching and understand that frequency is going to be key to growth.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think, too, one of the things that we always hear from clients is, I want to go viral, right?
Yeah.
Well, that would be great if you could if there was a formula and then you're viral. That's not the way it works. Posting consistently and then something catching and going viral is typically how that works.
And I think that's an important thing. Like, you can continue to post and kind of evaluate the effectiveness of those posts and then change and experiment and try different things. But always be focused on providing value. Mm-hmm. And if that's your focus, then the growth will come. If you're just thinking about going viral, you're gonna right. be disappointed, and it's less likely to be genuine.
Because you want to grow an audience that's natural and that connects with you and is going to spend money with you, right? I mean, that's the goal. And so if you're just looking to add raw numbers, you're not developing that community.
Right.
So one of the other ways besides, post consistency that you need to think about is engaging with your audience. Don't be a narcissist, right? Don't just sit there and be like, here's my stuff, I'm putting it out there, you come to me. Get involved in those circles and communities, talk to people, engage, reach out.
Yeah, the conversations in the comments are going to be the things that will create loyalty from the people who follow you. And, there's a difference between liking a post, maybe posting a comment, and somebody actually replying to you, and then there being a dialogue.
Right.
That's going to stand out in someone's mind a lot more, and can be really effective in keeping that top of mind perspective.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you're reaching out to other agencies and you're talking to them on their platforms, that's another way to get into those places that are actually people who might hire you.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wendy's is a great example of that from pop culture. No one really wants to follow a fast food chain on social media, but they engage with their audience. They roast their audience pretty frequently. Yeah. But I think doing things like that is what has made them, someone that people want to follow,
right.
Which is kind of weird. It came out of nowhere, right? Like Wendy's is the star of Twitter.
Right.
And I think that speaks to kind of understanding your personality, right? There's different platforms that are going to allow you to show off your personality in different ways. If you're someone that's super comfortable going live, now that's not either one of us. Mm-hmm. These are obviously pre-recorded. That's great. Go do that. Show off your personality in that way. People connecting with your personality and that transparency is going to build that relationship and build that audience.
Oh yeah.
So find the way to show off your personality. If you're a great writer, right? There's places like Medium, LinkedIn, where you're going to be able to show that off and connect in that way. Mm-hmm. But make sure you're finding the platform that kind of fits, right?
Yeah, and your personality is a major differentiator, right? There are going to be 100 other people who do the same thing that you do, more than likely, right? Mm-hmm. So your personality could be the thing that sets you above the rest of them. Mm-hmm. So use it, right? Take advantage of that.
Right.
All of these things are going to help you stay top of mind, and that's key. This kind of frequency and this consistency is going to keep your service or your design style or your illustration or whatever it may be at the top of a creative director's mind. And when they're thinking about a project, now you're the first one that comes to mind.
Right. Social media is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't put out one post and all of a sudden you got all these sexy companies sliding into your DMs, right?
It happens, but
It happens occasionally.
Normal, right?
Right. It is definitely not normal for me. But if you're consistent, if you build it, they will come, right? And I think that's something to kind of keep in mind there. The other thing you got to think about, and we've kind of talked about this through this video, is really tailoring your content to the different platforms. You don't want to ever break someone's kind of concentration on the content they're expecting on that feed, because then you'll just flick right past it. We all do it. We all see something that we instantly know is not from someone we follow or are friends with, and we could care less and we're gone.
Right.
So make sure you're building content that feels relevant.
Yeah, and it's also tailoring it to your audience as well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if you're on Instagram and you are creating some really great carousels and there's maybe some long form content that you've spread out across 10 slides, that's fantastic. If you go post that on Facebook, they don't really have a mechanism for that kind of content or that delivery.
Right.
This is not going to work, right? Or if you're on TikTok and you've posted some video that is derived from some trend that's derived from another trend, and you go post that on Facebook with a bunch of people who've never seen that trend, it's not going to make any sense.
Yeah, they're going to be completely lost. I think TikTok is a prime example of that meme building culture where it's almost like a game of telephone. By the time it gets to the end, it's a completely different joke than when it started.
Right.
So keeping that in mind. I think the main points we want to cover here when we're talking about social media strategy is having a plan to post consistently, making sure you're tailoring those posts to the audiences that you want work from, and then that's going to help you stay top of mind, right? It's a marathon. Again, it's something that's going to take you a while. But if you do those things and you engage with that audience, you're going to get work and people are going to hire you from interacting with you on social media.
Yeah, and so, our next video is a list of very tactical things that you can do with your social media. So let's go check that out.